Wow, I'm kind of excited about tonight. You already know what I'm going to say. You know where I'm sitting. You got it. I'm not even saying it. So let's just get into it. So tonight's movie is Brawl in Cell Block 99. I don't know how I found it. It showed up somewhere, somehow. Never heard of it when it was released in the movies, but now it's available for us on Amazon Prime. What is it? It's a movie about an ex-boxer becomes a drug dealer who goes to prison. Okay? Doesn't sound like, oh wow, that's very enticing, Jeff. And it stars Vince Vaughn. So it's like, okay, swingers, you know what I mean? Like Wedding Crashers. It's going to be funny, right? No, I think he plays a very serious role. The IMDb has it a 7.3. Okay. But Rotten Tomatoes has it at a 95% critic score fresh and 85% user score. Very high expectations of this little gem that I might have found. So I'm very excited. I think Vince Vaughn plays a more serious role in this one, and from some things that I've heard, it's an excellent job. So Vince Vaughn, the other actor in it that I recognize is Don Johnson. If you don't know who Don Johnson is, you're a lot younger than I am. So I'm excited to see this movie. I have high expectations, but who knows? I'm going to start watching a little bit, and hopefully I can give you a little bit more of the plot line on my first check-in, rather than just it's a boxer who becomes a drug dealer who goes to prison and has to fight in prison or something like that. Okay? So I'll check back in a little bit. Thanks for checking this one out. Hopefully it's great. I'll let you know in a little bit. See ya. Hey everybody. Brawl in Cell Block 99. Vince Vaughn. Don Johnson hasn't made an appearance yet, but we're at the 51-minute and 24-second mark of this movie. And the whole beginning is just setting it up. He has now just gone to prison. As I mentioned in the beginning, it says in the thing he's an ex-boxer, but doesn't show up yet that he is an ex-boxer. We'll probably learn that soon. Gets fired from his job as a tow truck driver, and then starts running drugs for a big drug lord, and gets busted doing that. He has the opportunity to get away, and chooses not to. For various reasons, and gets arrested. He also has the opportunity to turn in, and squeal on who's buying the drugs and selling the drugs, and he decides not to do that as well. And the judge throws the book at him instead of showing any leniency. One party could have talked and probably saved himself from going to prison, and he has a wife who is very pregnant. She's going to deliver in 3 months. Interesting, obviously it's a movie, but you think about it, like if somebody has a child on the way and 3 months and they could squeal, and they'd probably be running for their lives after that, but he could have got out of prison, chose not to, throws the book at him, and I think this is where it's going to start to heat up here when now he has just gone into prison. So I think this is where, obviously the title of the movie is Brawl in Cell Block 99, so he's finally gotten into prison, but that's a little bit of the backstory on how he got there, and wanted to give you more info on it. So I'm going to keep watching now. It's a 2-hour and 12-minute movie, so I might check in one more time, maybe not, who knows. You stay tuned, and we'll find out what happens. Alright, see ya. We're at the credits, and whoa. You have to be tough to make it through this movie. This is not for the weak stomach. It gets really dark, really quick, and a little violent. And I'll just give you some of my assumptions prior to seeing the movie. When he goes to prison, there's a brawl, they say. Originally I was thinking, okay, maybe, this brawl, there'll be a fight or something like that, or, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's in prison, there's fights in prisons all the time. Then as I'm watching the movie, I'm then thinking, okay, he might join the prison boxing group, and that's what this is all about. And that's what the first half of the movie makes it seem like. Like, he's not that bad of a guy, he just runs little drugs, gets sent to prison, takes ownership for his crime, and he's going to do the time, and okay, that's what it's going to be, and maybe he'll just be boxing, and that'll be the brawl. Well, I'm not going into any great detail, but it is way more than that. You know, it gets to the part, and I'll give you this a little bit. You know, it gets to the part where, you know, he's in prison, and the people that he was running drugs for are trying to blackmail him, and they want him to do something, you know, in order to pay him back. That's all I'll tell you. But so you know how those kinds of things. I don't know if you ever saw a shot caller. Very similar type thing where the shot caller goes to prison for some smaller crime, and then you know he has to do other things to you know continue to survive and you know pay off any debts, kind of thing. And that's what this movie's about. But it's well done. This is not the Vince Vaughn that you're used to seeing. That's for sure. Not old school. It's definitely not Wedding Crashers, as I mentioned. I go on and on of the great Vince Vaughn movies. It's a completely different side of Vince Vaughn, and it was fabulous. I'm gonna go with an 8. You know, almost a 9 to be honest with you. But there were some aspects of it that I thought I didn't like, and can't name them off the top of my head after watching the end of that movie. It was I don't know how to describe it. Stunning, I guess. I don't know. Surreal, in a sense. It started going down this dark path and continued. So again, if this isn't the type of movie for you, don't watch it. But for those of you who want to see an excellent film, a gritty film, I use that, dark, you know, this is the movie for you. It was 2 hours and 12 minutes. It honestly felt like an hour and a half. I had no idea that it was 2 hours and 12 minutes. I mean, you're the first 50 minutes where they're building the backstory, that was a little bit slow. But then from then on down, it's unreal. So hopefully you've watched this review. I'm sorry if I went on and on, but I really, this is a good film to watch if you can stomach it. And I recommend it for those of you out there who have the stomach for it. Again, Brawl in Cell Block 99, starring Vince Vaughn and a little bit of Don Johnson. He wasn't in a whole lot of the movie, but he does make a little bit of an appearance throughout the end of the movie. But if you stuck along this long, I appreciate it. Check out this movie if you have the stomach for it. And thanks for tuning in to Kimmel'sIrishPub.com. See you next time.